Now, in early November, AEW President Tony Khan, along with Bryan Danielson, who is a part of AEW's creative team backstage, announced a brand new tournament to start taking place on Dynamite, on Rampage, on Collision for the next 2 months pretty much. And that tournament was going to be called Continental Classic, and it will culminate at the World's End pay-per-view on December 30th. Now, this is a tournament where we have two separate leagues, 12 participants, 6 per league, round robin between both leagues. It's pretty much, I can only compare it to NFL, to a Major League Soccer, to a Major League Baseball, to NBA, where they got conferences. Only in this case, we got a blue league and we got a gold league, round robin amongst themselves. And then we get to the finals, which would be the conference finals, blue finals, which AEW is calling the league finals, and the winner of those finals go on to the main event, what I can only assume the main event of World's End. Blue League champion versus Gold League champion. And after that, we finally get our Continental Classic winner. But again, here's my issue with this entire situation. Again, it seems to me that, for all intents and purposes, AEW is planning on crowning a brand new Continental Champion at World's End. The winner of this 12-man tournament is going to be the brand new Continental Champion, AEW Continental Champion. So let me get this straight. You got the World Heavyweight Championship. You got the TNT title. You got the international title, and then you're going to bring in the Continental Championship. So that's 4 separate championships, singles championships. Now, that doesn't seem like much, right? That doesn't seem like too many champions. But the problem with current AEW programming is it's being diluted by Ring of Honor. They've done a very terrible job in terms of how they manage their content, their product on TV every single week by having way too many champions, because we have these 3 champions along with this brand new 4th champion that's going to come over, the Continental Champion. And you're going to keep him there along with the Ring of Honor World Champion, who is also the strong openweight champion over in New Japan, Eddie Kingston. You're gonna crown a brand new World Television Champion for Ring of Honor as well. And you also have a Ring of Honor Pure Champion. So let me get that straight. That's about 8 different titles. Not to mention that you also talk about the FTW Championship as if it were a real singles title in AEW. So you got 9 singles champions amongst the men's division across 3 shows. 4 shows if you want to include Ring of Honor, of course. So pretty much you already have way too many talent to even be able to organize and properly promote on your TV, but you want to make everybody a champion. You want to give everybody an accolade. And this is, again, a problem with AEW that, you can date to the past. Because this entire year of 2023 has been return this, debut that, return this, debut that. The same thing here. Crown a brand new champion just for shock value. That title means absolutely nothing. And Continental Classic, 12-man, 2 separate leagues. Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, Andrade, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston is part of the Blue League. Love it. Jay White, Jon Moxley, Swerve Strickland, Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, Rush is part of the Gold League. Love it. Finally, AEW has a very good reason as to why we have all these random matches on a weekly basis with little to no story, with little to no character development. Finally, we have a reason to actually tune in and watch, and it's something different. It's something different from WWE, and I've said it here in the past. I'm more of a story guy. Not so much, I enjoy the wrestling, but it's secondary to me. If, for example, this past weekend, Keith Lee versus Lee Moriarty. Fantastic match. 2 awesome performers. There was no story leading into the match. Very little story coming out of the match. Obviously, Keith Lee won that match, but who did that match benefit? Where are we taking these 2 superstars? You can't really take him anywhere because all the spots, all the prominent spots currently in AEW have already been taken over. All of them. So that's why you get 9 different singles championships in AEW, so you can try and spotlight and give some value to every single one. Well, you have way too many championships. But again, the Continental Classic, it's very similar, and I know I'm not very versed on New Japan Pro Wrestling, but it seems like AEW is heading in that direction, which I'm completely fine with. It's something different to WWE, and it seems like they're trying to niche themselves into that content, into that sports mentality, and that's fine. That's fine, because the grand scheme of things, AEW just lost CM Punk. They just lost so many stars, and they can't compete on a storyline basis with WWE. So what do? They go to where they go to their strong suit, which is their in-ring style, their in-ring competitors. Okay, that's fine. But I just wish that this tournament, this fantastic idea, that's definitely going to work for AEW, in my opinion. And again, you got to throw stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. And I think this might stick, and I hope they keep doing it. But to crown a brand new champion in AEW, that is ludicrous. That is ridiculous. That is plain stupid. Especially considering that they keep highlighting Ring of Honor and New Japan and CMLL and AAA on their programming. That's my issue with AEW. Now you wanna put those brands over? Have a separate roster for AEW. Have a separate roster for Ring of Honor. Have somebody who's been a big deal in AEW, a Ring of Honor, on a more prominent basis. Do what WWE is doing with NXT, where they have main roster and really put that show over, and they're trying to keep the NXT North American title on Dominic Mysterio just to highlight the fact that NXT does exist out there. AEW is taking it to the complete other level. We have 2 different companies, very limited time, and their stories are so convoluted and disorganized that you can't really tell them apart. You can't really keep track of them, and that is my biggest issue with All Elite Wrestling. But Continental Classic is going to be a fantastic tournament because of the talent that you have acquired in this damn league, in this damn tournament. 12 of the top level superstars, to the point that I'm not willing to predict a winner until we get closer and closer to World's End. But the fact that they're crowning a brand new champion, that just leaves a really sour taste in my mind. And I'm hoping it's kind of like the Owen Hart Foundation, where you just win a tournament, you get given a belt, you get given the accolade, but it's not a title you can defend. It's not a title that is prominent on a yearly basis. That's my only hope as far as this tournament is concerned. But overall, it's going to lean into more of a sports-based tournament-style professional wrestling, and that's something that AEW seems to be leading more into, and they kind of have to, because they don't really have the storytelling capability, or at least that's what they're showing us. That's what they've been showing us over the past few months, to compete head-to-head with WWE. So they had to go a different route. So with that said, what are your thoughts on the Continental Classic? What have you thought about it so far? Who do you think is going to walk out with the win? Again, if I had to pick someone, I'm not going to give it to Moxley. He's already a main man. I'm leaning more towards Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland over on the Gold League. I know you have Jay White and Jon Moxley there. If I had to pick someone from the Blue League, Andrade. Maybe even Daniel Garcia. Hell, Daniel Garcia was hot about 2 years ago. They've done absolutely nothing with him. That's my biggest issue with AEW. They don't know how to put guys over. So with that said, I'm done with this rant. I'm looking forward to the matches for tonight's event on Dynamite, live on TBS. Tune into that for Continental Classic. But again, they have to get a lot of ducks in a row, and they have to get their everything in order for AEW to really work. It's just a shame, because the talent that they have, the talent pool that they have acquired, and they have been just keeping under lock because they don't know how to use them. That's what pisses me off. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.